I need to hang this giant metal star on the wall above our stairwell, but there's no easy way to reach the spot where I need to drill the hole for the screw. I could buy some scaffolding or one of those adjustable dual purpose ladders, but instead I'm gonna try the board on a ladder trick. I found this trick in Popular Mechanics' Complete Home How-To book. Basically, you set your ladder on the stairs, lean it up against the wall above the stairwell, and then you run a board from the floor on the other side of the wall across the stairwell to that ladder, and that board becomes your jury-rigged scaffolding. At least that's how it's supposed to work. But is it safe? In the name of science, I'm going to give it a try. Some viewers of my vinegar versus rust video gave me grief that because I didn't specifically follow the scientific method, so this time we're going to do this by the book. Question: is it safe to use jury-rigged scaffolding to hang a giant metal star high above the stairs? Research. It could be easy to dismiss the danger here. It's not like we're talking about a fall from a roof or something like that, but it doesn't take much of a fall to hurt you. Scott Wadsworth of the Essential Craftsman YouTube channel recently posted a ladder safety video, and he talked about a man he once knew who fell off of an 8-foot step ladder and was dead in a week. The board that I'm going to be walking on in this case is going to be about 5 feet above the stairs at the highest point, but that still is far enough to hurt you. Could break an ankle, you could get impaled by a board, could land on a drill. That being said, Popular Mechanics probably wouldn't recommend something completely reckless in this regard. So I'm gonna assume that it's reasonably safe. I'm gonna be using 2x8 and 2x6 deck boards as my scaffolding. I couldn't find a very good source for how much weight these can hold when sitting flat. They'd be stronger on end. But people use boards like this all the time as ramps for lawnmowers and ATVs to get them up into trucks. I'm pretty confident that these boards are going to hold my weight in this scenario. I weigh about 185 pounds without any gear, so let's just add 15 pounds for a drill and, screws or something like that. It's also important to note that the longer your span is for your stairwell, the less weight that you'll be able to support with that board. And as that distance increases, it's not a linear like, oh, well, it can support 400 pounds here, and so it's twice as long, and now it can only support 200 pounds. It gets exponentially weaker as that distance increases. With that in mind, my hypothesis is that it is safe to use jury-rigged scaffolding to hang a giant metal star high above the stairs. Let's go test it out. First, I've got to find a board to be my tie down on the stairs. The stairs are about 34 inches wide, so I need something shorter than that. 17? That'll work. I'm going to use these 3-inch screws to secure the board to the stairs, and I'm going to use this hook to secure the ladder to the board. I'm going to pick a drill that's big enough for the screw to pass through, so that way the screw will be able to suck the board down to the stairs. And then I'll pre-drill a hole for the hook. Next, we'll find a spot for the ladder on the stairs. It gives me a relatively straight shot to the top of the stairs. We're at about 84 inches, so that's how long of a piece I need. Now I'll screw the tie-down board to the stairs. I'm counting on the fact that you won't be able to see the screw holes through this fine shag carpeting. And now I'll run a strap from the ladder down to the tie-down board hook. I got this trick from Jimmy DiResta. You wrap your straps in plastic wrap once you're done with them, and then you don't have to untangle them the next time you want to use them. And if you're careful, you can reuse the plastic wrap. Could use rope for this, but I have straps, so I decided to use one. Next, we'll have Malcolm inspect the setup. Oh, you're right, I didn't do the boards yet. Good call. One issue we're gonna have is that this width is about 12 inches and my boards together are about 12 inches. So it's gonna be a little tight. I'm just gonna cut a notch into this to make it fit. Now I'll remove the baby gate so that the boards can rest right on the floor. I'm going to push the ladder over to the side so that I'm closer to the wall. And now we'll install the boards. I'm going to screw these boards to 2 scab boards at either end to hold the boards together so they don't slip out. And now I can clamp the boards to the floor and the ladder. Feels pretty secure. All right, moment of truth. I mean, they're flexing a little bit, but it's not. I feel pretty safe. Okay, so where would we like this? Halfway from that wall to the corner? My lovely wife Abby is assisting. So that's 89. Half of that would be 44 and a half. Mm-hmm. Higher?
Nope, that looks good.
The hook is about 1.5 inches below the tip of the star. Creaky. Up there. It worked. And now I'll remove the board from the stairs. Not bad, and you can't see the holes. Now it's time to go over our data and conclusions. I hung up the star, I didn't die or get hurt, and the boards didn't break. There was some creaking on the 2x6 which freaked me out a little bit, but that one kind of had a crack in it, and it didn't break. The boards and the ladder stayed in place thanks to the clamps. The carpet did hide the holes from the board that I screwed into the stairs. And lastly, I felt relatively safe on this. I didn't love being up there. I didn't want to be up there any longer than I had to be. But I've done things that have felt less safe, like trying drywall stilts. Those felt way more dangerous than this did. Anytime you're up in a high place, it's inherently dangerous. If I'm up on the roof, I also don't feel the safest when I'm leaning over and cleaning leaves out of a gutter. Sometimes you gotta do some things like that. Communicate results. It worked. Would I do this again? I think I would, but I would do at least one thing differently. I would take the 2x6 or 2x8 and add a stretcher to the bottom. This would be fairly easy to do. All it would take is screwing some screws through the top end of this thing. A board is so strong in this orientation that there's almost no risk of the board breaking in that case. And that was really my only concern, is I didn't want the boards to snap and have me go flying down the stairs. Some alternatives to that are you might be able to use a long ladder from across the stairwell and walk on that instead with the board across it. I saw someone on YouTube do that. Or you could make an even more elaborate scaffold board out of 2x4s and plywood. John Peters has a great video about how he did that. If you have any thoughts about this, your experiences, or your knowledge about this kind of a trick, I'd love to hear them, because I want people to be safe, and I want people to feel safe when they're doing these types of things. In the end, if you don't feel safe doing this, just hire someone else. You can't put a price on staying healthy. All it takes is one fall and you've got an injury that's gonna bother you for the rest of your life. And how annoying would that be? I'm sure there's plenty of stories about that out there. Thanks for watching. Good luck.